Alright, what's up everyone, I'm Faloki, and today we're going to be taking a look at a recap of the Week 3 matchup between the Seattle Seahawks and the Dallas Cowboys. In this Week 3 matchup against the Cowboys, yet again, Russell Wilson and the Seahawks offense continue to carry this team to victories. Really, the Seahawks offense is just outscoring the other teams at this point. The pass defense once again did not look very good in this game, allowing well over 450 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. We did get 2 interceptions, one of which ended up sealing the deal and closing out the game. But the run defense continues to look like the strength of the Seahawks defense right now, as we held Ezekiel Elliott to only 34 yards on 14 carries. He did get a 1-yard touchdown, but overall around 2 yards per carry, not bad whatsoever for the Seahawks run defense. Both Russell Wilson and Tyler Lockett did very well in this game, with Russell Wilson completing 27 of his 40 attempts for over 300 yards and 5 touchdowns with no interceptions. Tyler Lockett on 9 catches had 100 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns, all 3 of those coming in the first half. He did have all 3 of Russell Wilson's first half throwing touchdowns, so honestly that was just a very good connection in the first half. We did sort of stagnate later on in the game in the second half, didn't look as great as we were in the first half, but honestly just a very good offensive showing once again. But the secondary continues to look pretty weak. Although our pass defense didn't look great and the Cowboys really made us pay for that, Russell Wilson continues his historic start to this season with 14 touchdowns in the first 3 games, which is an NFL record for the most touchdowns in a team's first 3 games. So congratulations to Russell Wilson. He has been playing out of his mind. I assume that he's going to continue this going into Miami, which is a pretty weak team when it comes down to it. So honestly, Russell Wilson, it's only been 3 weeks, but I do think he has a really strong chance to win MVP if he can keep up at all close to what he's doing right now. And especially with the pretty easy schedule that the Seahawks have, I really don't see any sign of Russell Wilson slowing down. Maybe the Bills game he'll have some difficulties because the Bills do have a pretty good defense and they are just a very good all-around team. The 49ers are another very good defensive team, but they're dealing with a lot of injuries, so when we match up against them for the first time, they might still be dealing with some injuries. The Cardinals are a good team, but overall, I mean, the Seahawks have a pretty easy schedule when it comes down to it, and Russell Wilson showing that he can do very well against a great defense like the Patriots. I really don't see any team being able to stop Russell Wilson. They just have to hope that the Seahawks for some reason want to try to focus on the run game. But now to get into some of the key moments and key things of this game, in my opinion, the first thing I want to talk about is that Alton Robinson, he did play this game, and I did want to see Alton Robinson get some opportunities, and early on in the game, he made a very good run defense play along with LJ Collier. They stopped Ezekiel Elliott in the backfield, I believe. Just a very good play, and it was really nice to see that because Alton Robinson, he's been talked so highly of, and he seemed to be doing very well this game. He seemed to be very athletic, very quick for as big as he was. And also on that same first Cowboys drive, Ugo Amadi had a very nice pass breakup to stop a touchdown, which led the Cowboys to get a field goal on their first drive. We went down, but Ugo Amadi did stop a touchdown with a very good play, and Ugo Amadi this game played very well. He made some pretty big tackles. He had that big pass breakup. He did just very well. He filled in the spot. He continued to play well, and honestly, Ugo Amadi looks like he could definitely be a very good nickel corner for us. And of course, the first touchdown in the game for the Seahawks was Tyler Lockett getting behind the defense. Just an easy, deep touchdown from Russell Wilson on his second completion of the game, and that led us to go up 7-3. And eventually after that, there was a kickoff which Tony Pollard just muffed, and he ended up jumping on it on the 1-yard line, but then we ended up stopping Ezekiel Elliott in the backfield, getting a safety, so we went up 9-3. A really good start for our team after punting on the first drive. One of the most disappointing plays of this game, if not the season so far, was DK Metcalf catching a 62-yard what would have been touchdown, but he got a little bit cocky and he kind of just had a lapse in judgment and decided that he wanted to celebrate before he got to the end zone. And props to whoever number 27 is on the Cowboys. I think he's a rookie. He came in, he punched the ball out. It was a touchback because it was a fumble into the back of the end zone. The Cowboys got the ball. Honestly, great play by 27, but DK Metcalf, a very bad lapse in judgment and a very, not a very good play, but he did end up making up for it later on in the game. After that bad play from DK Metcalf, the Cowboys and Seahawks kind of just exchanged touchdowns, where Cedric Wilson completely burnt KJ Wright and got a free touchdown. Our pass defense did not look very good. I think Russell Wilson threw a touchdown pass to Tyler Lockett after that, and then the Cowboys, I believe, came back, had Ezekiel Elliott run the ball on the 1-yard line, got a touchdown, and then yet again, the Seahawks, Russell Wilson threw another touchdown to Tyler Lockett, 3 in the first half. It was a very good first half for our offense, and our defense wasn't looking horrible. They let up some pretty bad plays, but they kind of, stopped them from scoring on some plays. They made some pretty big plays, made some pretty bad plays, but overall, we did go into halftime leading 23-15, which is actually the first time in NFL history that a halftime score of 23-15 had happened, which is wild. The Cowboys ended up missing their first extra point on their first touchdown and then getting blocked by Trey Flowers on their second extra point. So So honestly, first half didn't look too bad, but then the second half, everything kind of just got a bit bad. Coming out of halftime, the Cowboys got the second half kickoff. Jordyn Reed ended up getting a sack fumble on Dak Prescott, which was recovered by Benson Mayowa. We ended up getting a touchdown on that drive, so it looked pretty good here. Up 30-15, it was looking pretty promising. If our defense could just hold out and our offense could just continue to do well, get the run game going, just kind of waste some clock, maybe get a couple more touchdowns, everything would have went fine. But then the offense kind of stagnated and the Cowboys offense did pretty well. After the Seahawks touchdowns, both teams ended up punting on their next drives, and then the Cowboys got the ball. Michael Gallup basically just outran Shaquille Griffin and got a very nice deep ball, just a very good catch, very good throw. Honestly, pretty good play by the Cowboys. Not great coverage by Shaquille Griffin, but really he just got outran. And then right after that, Cedric Wilson ended up getting another touchdown where the pass defense just did not look good. He just outran the person who was covering, which I believe was Trey Flowers. I'm not exactly sure, but he just outran them, did just a crossing route, and then just ran into the touchdown because he's a fast guy. And our pass defense didn't look very good on that play, didn't look good on most of the plays this game. They did have some big plays, but really it was another game of just the pass defense looking very weak. After that touchdown from the Cowboys, the Seahawks offense continued to be stagnant, did not really do well, had to punt the ball back to the Cowboys. Cowboys had a very good drive. They ended up getting a 40-something yard touchdown to Michael Gallup, and at this point it did not look good because the Cowboys had all the momentum. They did fail the 2-point conversion, so they were still down 28-30, but with all the momentum going the Cowboys' way, it did not look good. It continued to look worse after the Seahawks offense stagnated yet again and ended up having to punt while they were still only up by 2 points with a lot of time left on the clock. The Cowboys had a very good drive where they wasted a lot of clock and they ended up getting a field goal, putting themselves up 31-30. But of course, at this point of the game, Russell Wilson is going to make plays. 4 minutes left in the game, down 1, Russell Wilson is clutch. He is going to cook, and cook is what he did. He was throwing passes, he was making plays. Greg Olsen ended up making up for the mistake he had in week 2 against the Patriots. He caught that 4th down catch, continued the drive, and that led to Russell Wilson connecting with DK Metcalf for an almost 30-yard touchdown where DK Metcalf did not celebrate too early this time. He caught the ball, he made up for his mistake, caught the game-winning touchdown, 2-point conversion. We ended up going to Jacob Hollister, converted it, went up 38-31, and at this point, it looked pretty good. Less than 2 minutes in the game, the Cowboys, they need to get a touchdown to tie, maybe go for a 2-point conversion to win. Honestly, if the Cowboys would have scored a touchdown and went for the 2-point conversion and got it and won the game, I would have had nothing but respect for that because that would be a ballsy play and they would have made a great play, but it did not end up happening. The Seahawks defense didn't look great, but Ryan Neal, a man who was signed off the practice squad just a day before the game, ended up coming up big and making the game-ending interception, leading the Seahawks to win the game 38-31. And now with the game basically recapped, I want to go into a little bit more detail on certain moments that I thought were very good in that entire sequence of events. As I mentioned, after that Michael Gallup touchdown, the Cowboys went for a 2-point conversion and didn't get it. Ugo Amadi ended up making the stop, which yet again, another great play by Ugo Amadi coming in for Marquise Blair's injury, and Ugo Amadi is looking really good so far. And in that last drive with the Cowboys down 31-38, they needed a touchdown. Some pretty big plays were made. Of course, Ryan Neal, a practice squad guy that just got called up a day before the game, made the play to end the game, but also Shaquem Griffin had a pass breakup, and then after that play, Alton Robinson had his first sack on Dak Prescott, and then after that play, there's a screen play for Ezekiel Elliott, which there was a penalty for illegal man downfield, so it really didn't count, but Shaquem Griffin, he had a great stop on that screen pass, basically just stopping it in its tracks. He came around, used his speed from the side, and got to Ezekiel Elliott. So honestly, if there wasn't a penalty for illegal man downfield, it would have just been a great stop for Shaquem Griffin. And then, of course, after that play, Dak Prescott almost got sacked, some good pass pressure on Dak Prescott, and he threw the interception. So honestly, that last drive for the Seahawks defense looked pretty good. We gave up some passes that we really shouldn't have given up, but once it got down to the nitty-gritty part of the game, those last few plays, some big guys were making some big plays. Big-time players made big-time plays. Shaquem Griffin, who also got called up like Ryan Neal a day before the game, made 2 big plays, one of which didn't really count, but I'm still going to count it because that was a great play. And I mean, Alton Robinson, he came in first game, made the most of his opportunity. He's one of the first few defensive linemen to actually get a sack. Jamal Adams had 2 of the first 3 sacks for the Seahawks, and this game, the Seahawks actually did pretty well, getting 2 sacks, one of which was that sack fumble from Jordyn Reed. So we ended up getting pressure from defensive linemen, which is a very good thing to see. However, some unfortunate things from this game, there were quite a few injuries. Now, of course, injuries are going to happen in football, but with some very key players, it is not good to see them go down. Jordyn Brooks, I believe, went down with a knee sprain. Chris Carson went down after a very dirty play. I'm going to be showing it on the screen right now. As you can see, very dirty play, in my opinion. I don't know who that guy is. Hopefully the NFL reviews this and gets him a suspension or something, because that is not a football play. He was on the ground already, just everyone standing still. Chris Carson, you could tell he was fine. He didn't get injured off the initial tackle, and then the guy after the play decided he just wanted to roll around while grabbing Chris Carson's knee. He ended up getting a sprained knee, Chris Carson did, and I honestly, that seems like a suspendable play. That does not look like a football play. That's dirty in my opinion. I am definitely biased because Chris Carson is my guy. I have drafted him the last 3 years in fantasy, but I mean, that did not look like a great play in my opinion. It looks a bit dirty. And then, of course, Jamal Adams, he went down with an injury, and Damien Lewis also went down with an injury. Apparently, none of these injuries are serious from what I've heard. I don't know all the specifics on them, but apparently none of these injuries are anything crazy like a torn ACL or anything. They're just knee sprains and ankle sprains and stuff like that. So some pretty bad injuries, especially looking at the players that are getting injured. They are key players for our team, but overall, no very, very bad injuries like any torn Achilles, torn ACLs. So definitely better than last week. But overall, this was a very good game for the Seahawks offense. Yet another poor showing for the Seahawks pass defense. That last drive did look pretty good for the Seahawks pass defense on those last few plays, but throughout the game, the pass defense did not look great for the Seahawks. Russell Wilson, of course, he was cooking. He had 300 yards and he had 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. He is killing it. He has 14 touchdowns in the first 3 games. He is doing absolutely amazing. And if Chris Carson does have to be out for a game or two, the passing game is just going to be even more of a threat because we won't have Chris Carson. Of course, Carlos Hyde is a very good running back. Travis Homer is a very good running back. We might see DJ Dallas if Chris Carson does have to stay out a few weeks. But Russell Wilson, he is probably going to continue this dominant, just historic start because he had 4 touchdowns the first game, right? Looked good. Looked like a really good game. And then we're like, oh, will he be able to do that against the Patriots? Yes, sir. He got 5 touchdowns against the Patriots. The Cowboys, 5 touchdowns yet again. Just an absolutely amazing start for Russell Wilson. And honestly, I am loving watching this. It is great to see Russell Wilson given the ball, given so many opportunities. Russell Wilson throwing over 40 times. That's nice to see, especially when he's doing it so effectively. Russell Wilson come back late in the game. Very nice to see. You don't want to see the games that close. There was no reason this game should have been as close as it was. With the Seahawks offense doing so good, the pass defense really just let down, and they ended up giving too many easy touchdowns. Trey Flowers was getting bullied in this game. The Cowboys, it was obvious they were focusing on Trey Flowers. He had a play where literally the ball went straight to his chest as he was on the ground, and he ended up dropping it and then kicking the ball up, which led to a first down catch from a receiver. So everything was just not going Trey Flowers' way. Really, this was just a bad day for Trey Flowers. I think Trey Flowers is a fine football player. He did not look good today, especially against such talented wide receivers that the Cowboys have. And Dak Prescott, I mean, no matter how much I hate the guy, no matter how much I think he's overhyped by the media, by Cowboys fans, he's a good player. He's a good quarterback nonetheless. He's going to make you pay if you have someone like Trey Flowers who is just not having a good day, making mistakes. But overall, we won the game. There's really nothing you can be too mad at. The pass defense definitely needs to do better. The pass rush needs to do better. It looked pretty good. Alton Robinson had some plays in the run game, in the pass rush. He did very well. I would like to see Alton Robinson get some more opportunities. LJ Collier, first 3 games of the season, he's looked all right. He hasn't looked like a complete and utter bust. He's been making some plays in the run game. He made that big play against Cam Newton to end the game. So honestly, I mean, our young guys, it seems like they have some pretty good potential. Ugo Amadi continues to just do very well. I am super glad that Ugo Amadi is coming into form and doing really well, coming into the place that Marquise Blair's injury opened up. So overall, I'm very happy with this team right now. The defense, of course, can get a lot better. The run defense did really well. I'm proud of that. Jordyn Brooks didn't look bad in his first game. Bobby Wagner continued to play well, as he always does. But like I said, Very good game for Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson continues his historic start. Good team win. Honestly, I am not super hurt about this game. I think this game was fine. The Cowboys are not a bad team whatsoever. I do think they're overhyped, and the NFC East is a very weak division, and for them leading the NFC East, it's not that big of an accomplishment every single year. But overall, Russell Wilson did very well. The team did very well, except for the pass defense. But going into Miami, hopefully the pass defense can go against a team that's not super crazy good in the pass game, and hopefully, you know, get back on track, get some good plays from the pass defense. We did have some good interceptions. Shaquille Griffin had a great interception in this game, but overall, I would like to see our pass defense get better. Russell Wilson, I hope he continues to do well going against the Dolphins next week. And yeah, like I said, a good team win. Let me know down below what you think about this. Did you enjoy watching the game? Did you get to watch the game? What did you think about this Cowboys-Seahawks game? And what do you think is going to happen in next week's game against the Dolphins? I think Russell Wilson is going to have yet another big game, especially if Chris Carson does have to sit out a week or two. But like I said, let me know in the comments down below what you think. Like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and with that, I'd like to thank you for watching. Have a great day.